Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So I have been reading, as I said, a bit more news of what's potentially going on and a bit more transfer rumours that's going on. So reportedly Ozil could potentially leave Arsenal Football Club in the January window. It has potentially confirmed that potentially, obviously was it a year or so ago that Manchester linked with Mesut Ozil, because obviously Mourinho's got a good relationship with him. Mourinho's worked with him in the past, while Mourinho was at Real Madrid, of course. And Mesut Ozil reportedly could leave Arsenal in January, because potentially he's a good creative midfielder. He's very, very agile, and I think I'd love him to come to Manchester United. If he does leave Arsenal in the January window, I think he'd complement our midfield well. I think he'd dramatically improve our midfield, because potentially Paul Pogba needs a strong midfielder, in our midfield, because, you take Paul Pogba out of our midfield, that balance of play in the midfield is totally different. It's static. There's no tempo or flair in that midfield. Potentially, without Paul Pogba there, I think Ozil is well Premier League proven. I think he'd fit the Manchester United agenda well if he was to potentially come, but I haven't seen any reports that Man United have actually been linked with Mesut Ozil. I know we've been potentially, linked with him in the past as well, and Mourinho could still go for him in January or whatever as well. And he's a good, quick, agile, versatile player. He can also play. He can play in the attacking midfielder. He can also play on the wing as well. And potentially, Man United have done deals with Arsenal in the past. We've got Robin van Persie. We got him. He scored 30 goals in that season. When we had Alex Ferguson. And potentially won. The Premier League title. And he was fantastic. Potentially, we got Sanchez off Arsenal in January. Obviously, Mkhitaryan went to Arsenal and Sanchez come to us, and he hasn't really did the goods. And Welbeck went to Arsenal about, was it 5 years ago? So we have done deals with Arsenal in the past as well. But potentially, Mesut Ozil reportedly he could leave Arsenal in January. His wage is around £350,000 a week. That is currently receiving Arsenal Football Club, but potentially he could leave in January. Reportedly, Inter Milan have been interested in Ozil, because potentially he hasn't been to his potential best this season for Arsenal. He has missed quite a few of their last games because he's had a back injury, as Mesut Ozil, and he just potentially hasn't been in great form this season. For Arsenal, as I said, he's been at the club since 2013, so this is his 5th, 6th year now of Arsenal. As I said, he's on about £350,000 a week as well. But reportedly, Inter Milan are due to meet up. Ozil's representatives are going to go have discussions with Inter Milan about potentially, making a deal in January. Inter Milan are reportedly the team that are interested, and the fee's around £25 million. And reportedly, they're going to go over and discuss this. Ozil's representatives are going to go discuss with Inter Milan about this as well. But potentially, it could be 25 million January, as I said. And Mesut Ozil, as I said, he's Premier League proven. He's a great midfielder. As I said, he's an extra player, risen up the ranks with Schalke. Then obviously went to Werder Bremen, he won honours there. Went to Real Madrid, won honours there. He's won honours since he's been at Arsenal. He's won a lot of individual awards as well. He's Mesut Ozil, so potentially he could leave Arsenal in the January transfer window, reportedly. It's Inter Milan that are keen on him, but from my perspective, Inter Milan under financial fair play regulations, they're looking to sanction some players off, to invest some money into their club. And I'm from my knowledge, Inter Milan, because they're under financial fair play, they can't potentially agree they can't officially sign players till next summer. But I'm aware they can agree to buy players in January, but they can't officially sign till next summer. And obviously, Inter Milan's Beppe Marat's keen on sanctioning a few Inter Milan players off as well. But reportedly, it's Inter Milan that have been the team interested in Mesut Ozil, as I said, and reportedly discussions are going to take place over this as well. But we were linked to him, last year or so. We were linked to Mesut Ozil. But potentially, but I said Arsenal are a very, very good team now. They look a much better side under Emery. He's changed it all around at Arsenal. As I said, very, very good team now this season. They are competing very, very well. I said I still think Emery needs a couple of transfer windows to bolster their squad up even more. I think they spent, was it £70 million last summer. They got I think they got 4 or 5 players in did Arsenal, but potentially they're doing very, very well. They're 21 games unbeaten in all competitions. They're playing so much better now. Arsenal Football Club under Emery, as I said, they had 22 great years under Arsene Wenger, but they had 22 years under Wenger. I said, sorry about what I said. 12 of those years were good years, and especially, then Arsenal fans wanted him out, and then especially in his last stages of his managerial career with Arsenal, potentially Arsenal fans wanted him out. And I think since Unai Emery's come in, he's turned it all around. He's got some good players in. Arsenal still got players aging up, and potentially, I said they have lost a lot of the best players over the years, and potentially they still, need a couple of windows at least to bolster their squad even more to make them potential title contenders. But they are a total different side under Emery. They do look a lot better do Arsenal. But the rumours are going on about Ozil, he could potentially leave. Also, alongside Aaron Ramsey's going to potentially leave, but he's still doing very, very well. I think Torrente is very, very good for Arsenal as well. But Aaron Ramsey, reportedly, Arsenal have told him he's not going to sign a new deal. And he's set to leave on a free next summer. And he was very, very good in his Cardiff days. He's made over 2 century appearances, since he's been at Arsenal, Aaron Ramsey. And very, very good player. You've got Danny Welbeck there. Potentially, this is his 5th season now, is it, with Arsenal? He's set to leave on a 3 transfer next summer. He's Welbeck as well. He's currently out for the season for Arsenal. He's Danny Welbeck. He's out for the season as well. He's Danny Welbeck, reportedly. He's out for the season, so he could be set to leave as well next summer. So potentially Arsenal will have to identify replacements for them, and that's identify replacement. A replacement if potentially Mesut Ozil go, because he's highly experienced in the Premier League now. He's highly experienced, playing in Spain and Germany with Werder Bremen. And very, very good player, very, very good attacking midfielder. As I said, I think he'd complement our midfield fantastically well. If he was to come, he's highly experienced. I think he'd adapt well in that midfield, and I think he'd link up very, very well with our midfield, would Ozil, because Pogba is a great, and he's got huge talent. He hasn't proven himself that well in English football, Paul Pogba. Potentially, I think he needs a world-class midfielder alongside him, because potentially take Pogba out of that midfield. We do have huge problems in that midfield, especially when, Paul Pogba's not there, because, Matic and Fellaini is a terrible midfield, from our perspective, because they're both slow, they don't have any tempo to the play. Matic has been awful for this season, as I said. I had concerns when we got him into the club. And same with Fellaini, he does have the odd game here and there. Mourinho seems to select him quite a lot, uses him as a plan A or a plan B, and we've had him since 2013 here, because we paid £27 million for him. But as I said, Ozil, reportedly could leave Arsenal in January. But potentially Arsenal, I've been looking at some of their transfer rumours of what's been going on with them. Potentially, they've showed an interest in Barcelona's Ousmane Dembele. He has been at Barcelona since 2017 as Ousmane Dembele. Reportedly, Arsenal are monitoring an interest in the player. He is in his prime. He is 21 years of age. He's Ousmane Dembele, and reportedly Arsenal have showed an interest in him. According to Lionel Messi, though, potentially, Lionel Messi doesn't want Barcelona to sanction Ousmane Dembele off. So potentially, Lionel Messi knows he's beneficial, and Lionel Messi doesn't want to lose Ousmane Dembele. Reportedly, but Arsenal have showed an interest in Ousmane Dembele. He is very, very young. It would be good to come and see him experience the Premier League. Another great young, talented player. I thought he was good when he was playing for Borussia Dortmund as well. Ousmane Dembele as well, very, very good when he was at Dortmund. Obviously, he risen up the ranks with Rennes as well. He was there quite a lot of years. He risen up the youth system with them as well at Ousmane Dembele. But reportedly, Arsenal are the team that have been potentially monitoring and interested in him. I think he'd complement Arsenal's team very, very well, because he is a forward. I think he'd look good alongside Lacazette and Aubameyang and all that. Would Ousmane Dembele, but obviously, as I said, when he was at Borussia Dortmund, he was there in the 2016-17 season. Ousmane Dembele, he won the Pokal Cup with them. He scored in the final, as I said, and then Barcelona paid like an initial €105 million for it. Was it? Did Barcelona pay €105 million for him? Was it last year, something like that? But at that time, he became the second most expensive player alongside Paul Pogba. At that time, he did move to Dembele, and now he's at Barcelona. Obviously last season he hardly featured, did he, in his first season with Barcelona, because potentially he won the La Liga and Copa del Rey with them, but he had injury problems in his first season with Barcelona. Due to Dembele as well, but reportedly Arsenal are monitoring and interest in him as well. And you know, Arsenal have got good players. They've got Lacazette, who's doing very well. He was good with Leon. You know, they've got Aubameyang. He were very good at Borussia Dortmund. He's a great number 9, Aubameyang. Much better than Lukaku. As I said, and he's a great player, Aubameyang. So too is Lacazette, because they have proven themselves fantastically well this season, been scoring goals. And potentially Ousmane Dembele, it would be good to come and see him experience the Premier League. He's given a name for himself well with Borussia Dortmund. Barcelona, he's done okay in some games, but obviously in his first season he was injured. He had injury problems during his first season, you know, in Spain with Barcelona. But you know, potentially Arsenal have been keeping an interest on him as well. So these are the Arsenal transfer rumours I've been, you know, searching up, and I think I'd love Ozil to come to United. He's a great attacking midfielder. He's very agile. He can prove to score goals as well. He's good on the ball. Technically very good on the ball. Energetic. His work rate's fantastic. He's very tenacious. And we do need a potential world-class midfielder alongside Paul Pogba to potentially address our midfield. Potentially Paul Pogba, and you know, especially if Paul Pogba goes. I don't know if Paul Pogba will go, but Pogba, you know, he hasn't really proven himself in English football, and there has been talks that he could potentially make a return to Juventus, because he said, was it 3 weeks or so ago, he could potentially make a return to Juventus, could Paul Pogba, because he had 4 or 5 great years and he does have the odd good game here and there for Manchester United, and potentially you know, will he go? We know he hasn't had a great relationship with Mourinho since he's been here. He's set to start the game on Wednesday. Mourinho said he's got to match the mentality of his teammates, and he's going to prove himself on Wednesday against Valencia. So he's confirmed Pogba's going to start anywhere. But yeah, Ozil, I'd love Ozil as a great midfielder. We do need a great creative midfielder, you know, and Ozil would be a great candidate. He'd adapt our team. He'd dramatically improve us in the midfield, you know, because he's done it with Arsenal and he's been very good for Arsenal. He's been a very essential player for Arsenal as well. But this is Arsenal's best run since 2007, because they're potentially 21 games unbeaten. They're playing good football. You know, they only just edged it against Huddersfield, you know, at the weekend. But from their point of view, that's still potentially a win. Doesn't matter, because you know, sometimes you do scrape results, and you know, as long as you get the 3 points, it doesn't really matter, and that'll be from Arsenal's perspective. But Arsenal are not title contenders yet. You know, they're not far from the top, as I said, but I wouldn't say they're still potential title contenders. I still think if Arsenal's aim is to get in the top 4, the top 3 this season, Unai deserves the manager of the season, because this is only his first summer. As I said, and Arsenal definitely are going to see Ramsey go next summer on a free. They're going to see Welbeck go, and there's a report stemming from the media that Ozil's going to depart in the January transfer window as well, but we will see what happens about that. But the tracking Ousmane Dembele, potentially Barcelona got it for 105 million euros. At the moment in time, he was the second most expensive player, you know, alongside Paul Pogba at the time. And this is his second season now, is it, with Barcelona, Ousmane Dembele's? But I do like Ousmane Dembele. You know, he's a very good young player, and he still does need to grow and develop. He's never played in the Premier League, and it would be good to see him come and play in the Premier League, as I said, because he's only young, and potentially, you know, we'll see what happens about that as well. Let's just have a look at my battery. 8%, so we'll put this back on charge. So yeah, that's a bit of Arsenal transfer news to update on. But what Lionel Messi said is he doesn't potentially want Ousmane Dembele to leave, and he doesn't want Barcelona to sanction him off in January or next summer, or whatever. Of course. But as I'm saying, yeah, as I updated you on my last video, I'll give you a bit of update, didn't I, on currently Chelsea's transfer news as well, what was going on with Chelsea. Potentially, Alvaro Morata's career could be over with Chelsea, because he's potentially being dropped from the starting 11 Chelsea. Sarri, the Chelsea manager, whatever you call him, is potentially would prefer to put Giroud in his current position, as I said, and potentially Chelsea still looking to spend. You know, there was the second highest spenders in the last summer window. You know, they spent, was it 120 odd million pounds? You know, obviously they got a goalkeeper, what's his name? Kepa or something like that. You know, the ex-Atletico Bilbao keeper. Chelsea had purchased him for what, £71 million. That's the most expensive goalkeeper in the world now, as we all know. And also they got Jorginho for £57 million from Napoli as well. So they did spend quite a lot of money in the last summer. Did Chelsea as well, but reportedly, obviously they got Kepa from Atletico Bilbao to replace Courtois because potentially he went to Real Madrid. Chelsea obviously got Morata in, you know, back in 2017. I think this is his second season now with Chelsea. You know, potentially he arrived to Chelsea. He arrived to Chelsea in 2017, as we all know, and Chelsea paid 60 million for him. But reportedly there has been talks, and Morata's a replacement for Diego Costa because he went back to Atletico Madrid, as I said. But Chelsea, he was good in the 2017-18 season, was Morata, but reportedly Chelsea are actually considering offloading him in January on loan. Reportedly, he's no longer under Sarri's plans, and reportedly AC Milan are willing to plot a loan moving for him in January. Reportedly, Chelsea are looking to get rid of him on loan in the January transfer window, or you know, whenever. But Morata, as I said, you know, he's a very, very good player when he wants to be. He can play, you know, he can play as a forward. His versatility is very, very good. He's quick on the ball. He's a great penalty taker. He's Alvaro Morata. You know, he can play he can play up front. You can play him on the wing as well, and he's a very, very good player. He's quick. His finishing assets is very, very good. But potentially, it said his Chelsea career could be over now because he won't be getting that game time that he potentially wants with Chelsea, and potentially he's highly experienced now in the Premier League. He's highly experienced in Spain and Italy and all that. He's Alvaro Morata because he's won the FA Cup with Chelsea. He had a great campaign in 2017-18 season with Chelsea as well, but potentially he's not now. He's going to become frustrated. He isn't getting the game time, you know, that he currently wants. And obviously, he risen up the ranks with Atletico Madrid. You know, this is in the youth system of Atletico Madrid. Then who was the other team he was at? He was at another team as well, Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid. He was at another team, and then he joined Real Madrid. That's where he began his career Real Madrid. You know, he began his career with them in 2010 with Real Madrid. Did have Real Morata in 2010. You know, he won the Champions League with them in 2014, so he's had experience in Spain. He won the Champions League with them in 2014, and then potentially he went to Juventus. Juventus paid, was it £20 million for him? He won the domestic double of Cop de Reyes and Serie A's during his 2-year period with Juventus, and then Real Madrid repurchased him back, and then he won the La Liga and Champions League with Real Madrid, and then Chelsea got him in 2017 for £60 million. It was looking likely he was coming to Man United and Lukaku was going to Chelsea, but potentially that didn't happen. It was Lukaku came to United, Morata went to Chelsea, but his career could be over after just a short tenure with Chelsea because he's only been there, is it a year or just over a year with Chelsea. As I said, Alvaro Morata as well, but I think he's potentially better than Lukaku. He's a better finisher. He's got more tempo to his play. Obviously, he can play as a forward, he can play as a winger, and his finishing's better than Lukaku's because obviously Lukaku is a big game bottler. His first touch concerns me, and potentially doesn't have much tempo to his play. He was very, very good in his first season with Man United. He's more proven in the Premier League, obviously, than Alvaro Morata, but I'd have preferred Morata, you know, to Lukaku. To be quite honest with you, Lukaku scored 27 goals in his first season with United. But we know he's well proven in the Premier League, and he has been playing senior football, you know, since the age of 16, as Romelu Lukaku as well. Also scored 46 goals for Belgium, as well as Romelu Lukaku. But the breaking news is Morata's career could be over. It may not be over, but reportedly Chelsea are considering sanctioning him off on loan in January. And reportedly AC Milan are interested. I don't know if they've had any discussions yet with Chelsea about this. But that's what it says, you know, according to the narrative on this. That's what it basically said in the current press. As I said, that's what it said in the current press. As I said, so I updated you that on my last video. Now I've updated you a bit of Arsenal's news. I couldn't remember the other team in the youth system of Morata, what other team who I played for Atletico Madrid. I said it on my last video, but I can't remember now. It slipped my mind. But I know it was Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid, and there was someone else in the middle of there as well. I'll look it up again. I can't fully remember. But yeah, Mourinho's got a potential January transfer target. As I said the other week, he says he wasn't too convinced that Man United would get any top players in the January transfer window. He's going to get £100 million to spend in January. Would I trust Jose Mourinho with this money? No, probably not. But potentially he's got a lot of priority targets for January. He's linked with a lot of central defenders. I think we need a goal scorer as well. We do need an attacker as well because Lukaku isn't on form. Sanchez, obviously, he's injured, but obviously when he's been playing, he hasn't been on form. He hasn't fat into the Manchester United squad yet. Alexis Sanchez, of course, and Mourinho spent over £400 million in his team. He hasn't potentially, met the expectations. We're sitting 16 points from top, 8 points behind top 4. Mourinho said a couple of weeks ago he wanted to get top 4 by the end of the year, and all of a sudden he seemed to change his perspective on that after Southampton because he said we almost need a miracle for top 4. Reportedly he said it to Brazilian TV. He says he doesn't remember saying it. He says then he basically rebuffed it and says, we don't need a miracle at all. We just need a good run of games. This is what Jose Mourinho had admitted, and he said potentially teams around us are improving and potentially getting better. As he currently said, but a lot of money's been spent since Ferguson retired. A lot of money's been spent. We spent like £1 billion in all the managerial areas. As I said, but Mourinho always seems to discuss about what he's won in the past and his history. We know he's had a lot of disputes, with the top players, since he's come to the club as Jose Mourinho. There has been rumours of him potentially leaving. He's also admitted if City and Liverpool keep spending, it's going to be hard for Manchester United to challenge for the title. Mourinho's actually said he doesn't know when Man United are going to be up there challenging for the title, as I said. But, the board and yours are trying to recommend the right man for the job, as I said. They try to recommend the right man for the job, and potentially Jose Mourinho, potentially everyone's criticised his team selection and his current tactics, and I think the last couple of games the performances have stepped up, so we've just got to try and build on it now. Would you back Jose Mourinho? We know there's been talks about him leaving. George Mendes coming to the equation, give a statement now. He dispelled the myth completely, saying he's not leaving. It's untrue. He's happy at the club. He's happy at the club, Mourinho. The club are happy with him, and potentially he's fully committed to Manchester United, and that was George Mendes' perspective, but he doesn't really speak about Mourinho publicly. He doesn't have a great relationship with Manchester United, full stop, does George Mendes. But that's what he said, potentially, because we know there's been rumours about potentially Pochettino coming in at the end of the season, as I said. But I think Pochettino would do good. He's got that winning mentality. And I think it'd be good to see Man United recommend him to come in the job at the end of the season, because Pochettino's very, very, he's, in terms of silverware as a manager, hasn't really won out, but he was very, very good in his playing career as a centre-back. He played 18 years in his playing career. As I said, he made over 300 appearances for Espanyol. He played for Bordeaux and Paris Saint-Germain as well, and potentially he's been manager since 2009. He also managed Espanyol. He's managed Southampton, and now he's at Tottenham, and he's only spent £50 million at Tottenham Hotspur. As I said, potentially, so he's probably a bit frustrated with the lack of investment. He has still got a good bunch of players as Pochettino. He's got third place quite a few times with Tottenham. 1 year he got second with Tottenham Hotspur as well. So he has done well with Tottenham. In terms of spending, not that well, but he has got a good bunch of players out there as Pochettino. And he's proven in the Premier League. He's been in the Premier League now seven years as Pochettino. So potentially, it said it would cost Man United cheap to sack Pochettino at the end of the season. Jose Mourinho at the end of the season. It would cost us cheaper to sack Mourinho at the end of the season if we fail to get top 4, potentially. Pochettino's got a 5-year deal with Tottenham, as we all know. It said it could cost Man United in the region of £40 million to get him at the end of the season. We were linked to him a couple of years ago. We never got him. It's also mentioned Real Madrid are also interested in appointing Mauricio Pochettino as well. But as I said, I think he's a good manager. I think he'd do good if he come to Manchester United at the end of the season, to replace Jose Mourinho. But yeah, he's well proven in the Premier League. As I said, he's Pochettino. According to him, he's happy at Tottenham. He's focusing on Tottenham, and he's focusing on getting the top 4 with Tottenham Hotspur, as he currently said. So that's his perspective on it. But we know there has been potential rumours about it as well. But yeah, Mourinho has been, he's been disappointed, we haven't been aggressive enough in these current transfer windows, especially since Mourinho's been appointed manager. Potentially it was a disappointing last summer window because we only got 3 players in. We got Doyle in. Doyle hasn't played for most of this season. He's participated in the last couple of games, and I think he's been absolutely fantastic. I thought he was great at the weekend against Fulham. And Mourinho, to be fair, praise Doyle. I hope he does start on Wednesday against Valencia because he deserves it for his fantastic performance he put out against Fulham. I thought he operated well at that right back position, Doyle. I thought he was physically very, very strong and technically very, very good, was Doyle. But I thought Ashley Young played very, very well at left back, against Fulham as well. And he scored a great goal, got an assist as well. So I hope he starts, Doyle, on Wednesday. Mourinho's already confirmed Pogba's going to be starting and Andres Pereira's going to be starting, who's hardly played this season for Manchester United, of course, as we all currently know. But the news is Jose Mourinho has been potentially discussing, he's been discussing potentially about, with Ed Woodward, and his current representative George Mendes about plans for the January window. They've had discussions about this. They've held a meeting, and potentially they've come to an agreement for plans for the January transfer window. And reportedly, our priority target now is Toby Alderweireld. He's on Manchester United's agenda. Koulibaly's been on Manchester United's agenda, as we all know. But Toby Alderweireld, as I said, great player, proven in the Premier League. How old is he? He's 28, 29 years of age, Toby Alderweireld. He's been a full international since 2009, and he can play as centre back, he can play as left back, and I think he potentially fit I think he'd improve our defensive line fantastically well. There's better central defenders out there than Toby Alderweireld, but £40 million, pretty reasonable fee for Toby Alderweireld, as we all know. We know he's available for £25 million next summer. Tottenham would rather, cash an extra £15 million rather than let him go for £15 million less next summer. Tottenham wouldn't want to sell him at all, in my opinion, because we're now reluctant to sell the top players because obviously Mourinho's discussed, in relation to Tottenham Hotspur about, them selling the best players, how reluctant they are to sell the best players. But £40 million would, change Tottenham's stance regarding the player, and I think it would potentially maybe persuade them to offload him. Man United will link to him during the course of summer, but I think Tottenham were demanding £60 million, so Man United were reluctant to pay it. Tottenham Hotspur, we were reluctant to pay it, but Tottenham Hotspur, as I said, I think it will persuade them to sanction him off in January. And he is a pretty decent defender. He's Toby Alderweireld. There's been no signs of him signing a new contract. Tottenham do have the option to extend his contract by a further year, Toby Alderweireld, but he's a very, very good player, Toby Alderweireld, and potentially would improve Manchester United. We've seen Tottenham sell the best players in the past, as we all currently know. So if you've heard about this news, reportedly he's been given the green light to go on and sign Toby Alderweireld in January, as we all know. But his release clause is £25 million next summer, and he's been in the Premier League good. Is it 4 or 5 years now? He's been in the Premier League. Toby Alderweireld is also an ex-Ajax player and an ex-Atletico Madrid player, as well. But we do need more signings. Mourinho's obviously got 11 in, but we've already spent of £400 million, or is it just under £400 million we've spent on players. Koulibaly's been getting mentioned in the press, as we all know. Reportedly, he's been a potential target as well. Reportedly, Man United have been in talks with Napoli. Reportedly, Man United would have to pay in the region of over 90, probably pay around 90 or over £90 million to get the player, reportedly. Don't know if Napoli are willing to do any business. Well, Man United have been notified Man United would have to pay at least £90 million to get the pursuit of Koulibaly. Potentially Mourinho, from his perspective, he's too expensive. It would be potentially the most expensive defender in the world if it was to get Koulibaly, but Toby Alderweireld's like 50 odd million pound cheaper if we were to get him in January, because he's rated at around £40 million, Toby Alderweireld, and he's Premier League proven. Koulibaly's a very, very good defender. He's never played in English football, but he's highly experienced in Italy. I think he'd adapt us very, very well. I think he's a highly experienced defender. How old's Koulibaly? He's 27, 28 or something. Koulibaly, I think he's quite tall as well. He's under contract with Napoli to 2023. Man United have been in discussions. It confirmed the other week Man United had a big turn down of around £80 million for Koulibaly, as we all know. But I do like Koulibaly. Very, very good defender, as I said, and he's an ex-Genk Mets player. Napoli only paid, was it £7 million for him, as I said, and he's been recently nominated African Footballer of the Year as well. So potentially he was the main priority target. Mourinho knows he's too expensive, so now he switched to Tove Alderweireld as his main priority target. As I said, but Koulibaly is a very, very good defender. I think he dramatically improved our defence as well. Very highly experienced. He can play as centre back or full back. He can also be deployed as a defensive midfielder as well. Can Koulibaly. So I do like Koulibaly. I really, really do like Koulibaly. He's a very, very good player. He's Koulibaly. So I do really, really highly rate the player. What I've seen of his stats and that, good on the ball, good in the air, he's good composed defender, and yeah, so he'd be a player I'd love to come to the Premier League, but Mourinho knows he's potentially too expensive, as we all know. But now it's Tove Alderweireld, our main priority target, of course, and we know we've still got a lot of players coming to the deals. We know we've got a lot of injury problems defensively as well. And we have got a lot of problems defensively. We've had a lot of injuries defensively. And I think Mourinho, for Wednesday, will probably have to go with Phil Jones and Rojo as our two centre-halves, central defenders. Because essentially, Smalling's injured. Luke Shaw could be a doubt. Lindelof's out as well, of course, and so I think he may have to go Phil Jones and Rojo. Bailey's a doubt as well. As I said, we know Sanchez is also out. Martial, for us, potentially is a doubt. Obviously, he missed the Fulham game, but it's potentially been our best player this season without a shadow of a doubt, Anthony Martial. But as I said, I hope he's going to be fit for Wednesday. I don't know if he's going to be fit enough for the Wednesday, Anthony Martial, as I said. But yeah, we've got to continue these recent performances we've shown in. So it just, like Mourinho said, it just proves when we do perform, we get what we want. And potentially, we're still, for me, lacking in the final third. We're lacking that quality. We're still, struggling to create clinical chances. Even when we're on top, we still struggle to create clinical chances. And potentially, you can see in that pitch, you see in that team, it needs addressing. We need a strong central defender. I think we need another attacking midfielder. That's, like Paul Pogba. We need another attacking midfielder alongside Paul Pogba to improve that midfield. Especially we need another midfielder if Pogba leaves. Fellaini's not going to do any good in that midfield. Matic is not going to do any good in that midfield. Herrera plays well when he wants to play well, depending who he's playing alongside in the midfield. If he's alongside Pogba, Herrera, I don't think Herrera does too bad in my own opinion. But we'll just see what happens. And I think we need a prolific goal scorer as well, as I currently said. And I'd love Ozil to come to United. As I said, highly experienced in Germany with Werder Bremen. Highly experienced in Real Madrid, where he won honours with Werder Bremen. Ex-Schalke player in his youth when he was younger, obviously. Won a lot of individual awards. Hasn't been his potential best this season for Arsenal because he's had a back injury. We've been linked to him in the past. Mourinho's worked for him in the past. Reportedly, it said Inter Milan are preparing to have discussion. Ozil's representatives are preparing to have discussions with Inter Milan over Inter Milan getting a deal over the line for him, and the fee is around £25 million. But as I said, he's a great player. I do like him. He's highly experienced in the Premier League, and he's tenacious. He can play as attacking mid. He can play on the wing as well. So I think he'd complement our team very, very well, and he would be very, very beneficial. If you put him alongside Paul Pogba in our midfield, we'd have so much. We'd have a great competitive midfield. And Ozil's very, very competitive. He's very agile. He's a good playmaker. And I think it'd be beneficial if he was to come to United. I really, really would. And I do admire Ozil. I'm a big, big fan of Ozil. As I said, but reportedly it says Inter Milan are in talks as well. But as I said at the beginning of the video, Arsenal are interested in Moussa Dembele. He's 21 years of age. He's a good young player. Still needs to grow and develop more. He's the same age as Marcus Rashford. He's Ousmane Dembele, not Moussa Dembele. Ousmane Dembele. It's Ousmane Dembele, I think, yeah. I'm thinking of the other one. It's Ousmane Dembele, yeah. And potentially Barcelona paid an initial €105 million, which potentially made him the second most expensive player at the time, alongside Paul Pogba, of course. And Arsenal have been monitoring an interest, but from Lionel Messi's perspective, he's basically come out and he said he doesn't want Barcelona to sanction him off in January or whenever. But obviously, he's an ex-Borussia Dortmund player, and He's 21 years of age. He's 21 years of age, Jesus Dembele. And, you know, he's a pretty good player. And in his first season with Barcelona, obviously, he didn't feature that much, did he? Because he had a bad injury problem in his first season with Barcelona. They do some Dembele. He obviously won the La Liga Copa del Rey that season, but he obviously had injury problems as well during that first season with Barcelona. So, what do you think of this guy? Put your comments below. If you do consider subscribing to this channel, I will be back tomorrow evening with more live videos coming up to update you on some more news that's going on regarding United and, you know, the transfer rumours of what's going on. Not long now till the window opens, as I said. So anyway, guys, take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye.